Thank you. So let me take that again. Sorry about that. I apologize. Dr. Ezine is a self-actualization coach, speaker, author, writer, trainer, and transformational catalyst. She's also an eye care professional with over 10 years coordinate experience. Over the years, she has consistently counseled, coached, and mentored visionaries into their place of impact, influence, and affluence. She is a strong advocate for purposeful and visionary living. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Mindfield Academy, a strategic leadership and training institute that delivers cutting edge training to future forward leaders in different industries. And she is the convener of the whole woman, the whole women network. And also, I'm going to run Unleash. She's also the host of Unleash Your Greatness conference and the convener of Mind Raton. And over the decades, she has taught, she has helped. Sorry, I'm running because of our time. And she is blessed. She's happily married and she's blessed with an amazing son. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Ezine. Please go to the chat box and celebrate this woman of this woman of God. Like, she's so blessed. She's so super talented, super amazing lady. For me, it is an honor to be doing this with her, and I do not take it for granted. So please come on, let's celebrate our speaker for this evening. Please celebrate it, show some love. Thank you. So yeah, I only have 1 minute to do this. So yeah, I want to say a lot of celebrations. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very, very much. So, Ma, thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is the first time we're doing this one, so that's what makes this very, very special. Okay, so today is about the mind and you. And we know the mind is, when we talk about the mind, we're talking about the intellectual, the mental faculty. But from your own perspective, what is the mind and how best does the mind function?
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And I think I would just like to call out a few names that I can see. So I would say good evening, Anita Patrick. Good evening, Uloma. Good evening, Hilary Gochuku. Somebody called Zoom user, Kemi, Mildred, Helen, Samuel, Elkana. Good evening. It just helps me, to be in touch with the people who are listening to me this evening. And thank you so much, Temitope, for this wonderful opportunity, to share with you all this evening. And thank you also, my host. I don't know your name, but thank you very much for that very robust introduction. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. So your first question, I'll go right into it. But why I smiled when you asked the first question is like, the first question can just be a full class, like a full 5-day or 1-week course on what the mind actually is, but I'll just try to truncate it into something small and that where we can understand and run with that understanding. So I usually like to say that the mind is the most powerful force on the earth after God. That the mind is the most powerful force on the earth after God. So powerful. It's also our seat of reasoning, is our seat of our emotions, is a seat of our will. And I know that for some of us here, we also understand that the mind, is not just the mind. The mind has like 3 aspects of the mind. It does not necessarily mean that you have 3 different minds. It just means that the mind expresses itself in about 3 dimensions. I'm sure you've heard about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the last one, what's the name now?
The unconscious.
Yeah, the unconscious mind. Thank you very much. So, but when we say that the mind is the most powerful force on the earth, in the universe, right, after God, the aspect of the mind that we are referring to is actually the subconscious mind and not the conscious mind or the or the unconscious mind. And I believe that a lot of us have underutilized our minds, and that is why we have subliminal results in our lives. So if you want to, change the course of your life, if you want to change the results you're seeing in your life, the first thing to do is not to see how to change the result physically, as it were, or try to get new clothes or get new friends or find a new job so that you can have more money, or develop a saving culture so that you can have more money, or look for new opportunities. Or for somebody who is saying, oh, I don't like my social life, the first thing to do is not to go around and say, I want to have more friends. The first thing is to become the person who is capable of attracting the right kind of friends, the right kind of abundance, the level of abundance you want to experience, first of all, in your mind. Because if you get it right in your mind, you get it right every other place else. And coincidentally, today, I don't know how many of us here, you will forgive me if I delve into the spiritual a bit, because the foundation of my coaching assignment is actually hinged on the spiritual. So coincidentally, just this morning, I led a prayer meeting, and the title of that prayer meeting was Demolishing Strongholds. And the typical African, the typical average African who is a Christian, who reads that kind of flyer, is coming into that prayer meeting wanting, to tear down the village people who are against her or against him, or to go against, the auntie that they told you would not succeed. But do you know that we spent about 1 hour, 30 minutes, demolishing, the conditioning and the patterns in our mind? And I said something in that prayer meeting, which I will say here. I'm saying that the stronghold, there is no stronghold. The devil, demons, economic realities, inflation, whatever you want to call it, pain, abuse, loss, there is no stronghold as powerful as the stronghold of the mind. That's why I told you that the mind is the most powerful force, more powerful than the devil, more powerful than spiritual forces, more powerful than anything you can think of. The mind is so powerful. And if we begin to, acquire the intelligence to leverage the power that our mind possesses, our lives will change dramatically. And that is why people call me, or I'm mostly known as the mind reformer. When I got understanding and this knowledge, I began to mind. When I knew power my mind wields, I started paying more attention to my mind. So here is the thing. A lot of us pay more attention, and I'm thinking about the African continent, because we have a lot of religious individuals. So we pay a lot of attention to our spirit man, which is good in and of itself. Pay attention to our bodies, but we are kind of, we play low. We play low with our minds, not realizing that that is where our problem is. And that is the entire problem we are facing on the African continent. Minds that have not been leveraged, minds that have not been used, minds that have been kept redundant, minds that have been looked down upon. And everybody wants to jump back. The only difference between people are people who have used the power of their mind to develop to develop new results in their countries. But here we just want to sit back, and just, what word do I use? Accommodate mental laxitude, accommodate a mind that is below par. And then we now complain about the results that we are seeing. I will say it again. If you're going to change the results you're seeing in your life, you must engage and leverage your mind. If you're going to shift your life into a higher reality, into new results, then you must of necessity have a mind shift. There is no shift you will experience in life without it shifting on the inside. The mind is powerful. Powerful. I just feel like I've not really done justice as much as I would, but I don't have much time. But just understand that the mind is so powerful. And like anything that is powerful, I'll end with this. And like anything that is powerful, just like a very sharp sword, there are two parts to it. So you can use the power of the mind to your advantage, or you can use it to your disadvantage. The funny thing is that whether you are aware of it or not is inconsequential. Every time, whether you are aware of it or not, your mind is working for or against you. So if you're not deliberately engineering your mind to become a mind that will work for you and not against you, it is still working. That's what I'm saying. That you take cognizance of it or not, it doesn't matter. It is working.
Wow. Please help us mute your mic, please.
I think the host can mute everybody.
Okay, let me just do this. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, let me just mute. Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's so powerful. Wow. Wow, that is a very, very powerful intro. Thank you. So I have a lead-on question to that one. You said we have to leverage the power of our mind because it's powerful too. So my next question is, how do you maximize the mind to achieve productivity, especially for someone with multi-influential flow? You are a career person, you have a business, you're also into the non-profit space, you have a lot going on for you. Like, how best can that person leverage the mind to achieve productivity?
Okay, first of all, the first thing I would like to start answering this question this way. We must first of all debunk a myth and debunk a negative conditioning that, people have passed on to people over and over again. And I would say it in this way, that you cannot be jack of all trades, master of none. Be known for one thing. I don't know how many of you have heard it. If you've ever heard it, please, can I say it in the chat? Just be known for one thing. Be known for one thing. So we have heard this so much, such that our subconscious mind has accepted that it's impossible for us to be known for more than one thing. So even when you step out on a multi-dimensional level as a professional, as a coach, as a mother, as a social worker, as a social innovator, somewhere playing in your conditioning and in your system and in your pattern is something telling you be known for one thing. It's something telling you that you cannot be good at most things. You can only be good at one thing. So that is the first point of call, to debunk that wrong negative paradigm that has been passed on to us through the years by different people and saying be known for one thing. First of all, I want you to really take a good look at yourself. I want you to take a good look at the intricacies and the complexity about your creation, about how you think, about how many systems you have, how they intertwine with each other, how your brain sends messages to your eyes and interprets messages, how your brain automatically sends messages to different systems of your body and they do what they're supposed to do. Now, answer with me sincerely. How then can this intricately, intelligently, gifted, built human being be known for one thing? How is it even possible? That will be a renegade on your capacity and what God has put. Is an insult to your intelligence, an insult to the giftings that God has put inside of you, an insult to how good and how well and how intricately and complex you have been created. You cannot be known for one thing. God did not intend you to be known for one thing. And I don't know why I'm talking. I just hope you permit me, to go a little spiritual, because, somewhere in Jeremiah, the Bible was saying something and it's very interesting. He said, call unto me and I will show you great and mighty things about you. He didn't say thing, things, not thing. Great and mighty things. So that's the first point of call. So even if you go out, and say, I have this to do, I'm doing this social work, I'm a professional, I'm also a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm a mother, I'm a father, all the things. I think when I came in, I saw somebody introducing himself, from, I think it's a friend, a Francophone country or something, and the person was saying, I'm into social innovation, all these things. You must first of all debunk and that myth that says I will be known for one thing. So let me tell you how the mind works. The mind does not give to you what you wish. The mind does not give to you what you desire. The mind gives to you what you are. And what you are is what your subconscious mind really believes. So you can actually go out and say, I'm a multidimensional person. I do this, I do that. If your wiring, the pattern that you're operating by is saying you are known for one thing. Though you may be doing many things, but you'll be known for one thing. And even if you try doing many things, you'll be ineffective because there is a pattern playing, there is a conditioning playing, there is a software playing underneath all that you're saying that you think you're doing about your multidimensional flows that is saying you cannot be multidimensional. I don't know if you see where I'm going to. So you must first of all break down that paradigm, that pattern that says you'll be known for one thing. You can be known for many things. And when you have done that, it's now no longer really a mind thing. It's now wisdom. It's now wisdom. So I will say this. First thing about leveraging, your multidimensional flows and being effective in your multidimensional flows is to understand yourself, to get a master's degree in yourself, to become so self-aware of who you are, that you enter a school, and that school will be the University of Dorcas Elisha, the University of Anita Patrick. You will study yourself to understand what I call your energy cycles are. When are you most productive in the day? When do your energies drop? Some people are morning people, some people are evening people. So if you're multidimensional, if you don't want to run low on energy or exasperate yourself, you must understand what your energy cycles are. Are you a morning person? Are you somebody who downloads ideas very early in the morning? Then you should use your morning for the part of your multidimensional flow that speaks to creative writing or creativity, so you want to do that in the morning. And if you're somebody who does social work, right, your hands on, maybe you don't want to use the morning for that. You don't want to say, okay, at midday, I will do this. So you must understand your energy cycles. You must be schooled in yourself. And if there's anybody on this call who has not yet done a strength finder test, and you need to, you must of necessarily need to, so that you can, because you cannot leverage what you don't know. So a lot of us, why it looks as if we are overwhelmed is that we are running a vision with somebody else's strength. So you don't know what your strengths are. So you're running a vision with what you think your strength is, not what you know your strength is. So you're not good at everything. Nobody is good at everything, but you can be good at something. Your job is to locate what you're good at and do it, and then outsource what you're not good at. I don't know who got that. I said you're not good at everything, but you're good at some things. Your job is to find out what you're good at, sit on it, do the work, and outsource the things that you're not good at, especially for those who are operating multidimensional flows. And then you must also understand the power of people, of leveraging people, of gathering an army, of, seeking for help. If you cannot do everything yourself. You cannot be the person who will, get down the vision, envision it, get down ideas. You also run around. You must also understand how to source volunteers. You must also know how to source helpers. You must ask for help and not be ashamed to ask for help. Because I discovered that what happens with a lot of visionary people is that we just believe that nobody is there to help me, but that's not true. It's also a conditioning. I believe super strongly that people are always available to help me, that the earth, even the inanimate things, are willing to help me. So whenever I need help, I ask for it, and I believe super strongly that people want to help me, and they actually do. So you must ask for help, and also, disembourse, how do I put it, disembourse responsibilities and not just be the person taking on everything. I also understand that in the beginning of a journey or of a work, you may not have so many people to join you at that time, but you can focus on one part of your multidimensional flow and give it your energy. Especially when you're starting, when you're just beginning. Don't try to do everything at the same time. In one multidimensional flow, you may just be in the what I call the envisioning state, where you're still getting ideas, downloading, visions, blueprints, master plans for what it's going to be. It doesn't mean that you're out there in the field, but in another one, you may be out there in the field. Do not allow yourself to be out in the field for all of your multidimensional flows at the same time. When you are beginning, you would run into overwhelm, you'll be discouraged, you'll be tired, you'll be stressed out, you'll be broken, so you can just face one while you are working on the others behind the scenes, if you get what I mean. Another thing is that you must give yourself structure. Temitope, Anita, Uloma, Orogu, Dorcas, you are a company. You are a company moving on 2 feet. And every company that is going somewhere must have 2 things working for them: structure and systems. Structure and systems. So you must have structure in your personal life. Begin to treat yourself as a full limited liability company, right? And understand that you must have structures. What do I mean by structures? Okay, I'll use myself for an example. I am an optometrist. I'm a doctor, so I work. I'm also a coach, right? I'm also a ministry gifts. I'm also a writer. I'm a mother. So I just want you to just imagine the many things I have to do. So what I do is that I structure my life in such a way that I am not carrying all these things at the same time. Sometimes I have a day. On Mondays, I don't go anywhere. I don't go to the office. Like my doctors handle the things at the office. I stay back, you know, to do the part of a visionary, to write down, except where, you know, I just have to be at the hospital. Do you see what I'm saying? So I do that and I break it down. So you can structure your days and say, okay, I give Monday to this part of my vision. I give Tuesday to this part of my vision. I give Wednesday to this part of my vision. And then Thursday and Friday, I rest. But you will also realize that, I don't know how many of you agree with me, that for those who are multidimensional, you also discover that there is a particular flow that is, how do I put it? There's a particular flow that is funding the other flows. There's a major flow that is funding the other flows. So you are taking money from here, right, to fund the other part. So you see that one that is the money, you know, the money well, as it were. You need to give it some sort of focus. Give it more time. So in a week, you can give it 3 days, while the other 2, because that is like, you know, what God has given to you as a source to fund your other multidimensional flows. And then the last thing I would like to say is that you must become a person of habits. You must become a person who imbibes habits. You live your life based on habits. And this is what has helped me. Your life is like a clock. You know what you do by 5 a.m. You know what you do by 6. You know what you do by 7. You know what you do by 9. Your life is a life of habits. Take, for example, let me use myself. Every day, every single day, except on weekends, because my weekends are very busy, just like this evening, I give at least 1 hour to my personal development. And sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 hours, but minimum 1 hour, my personal development. That's habits. So I have like made a habit out of growing myself, because I understand that I cannot function effectively in all my multi-dimensional flows if I am not growing. So it is important to me that I grow. So I make a habit of growing. You can also make a habit of when you sleep, when you wake up, how you feed yourself, you know, that kind of thing. So these are my 4 things. So the first one being debunking that myth that you must be known for one thing. The second one being that you must develop structure and systems. The third one being that you must imbibe habits. And I think I said 3. Did I say any other thing? I'm not sure.
Understanding your energy cycle.
Yes, understanding your energy cycles. Thank you very much. So that's, I hope I did justice to that question.
No, like you did do a lot. Like I was just like, oh my God, this is deep. Thank you. So this is a very, very interesting question. That's our next question. And I think a lot of people are caught in that web. So what do you think? How do one leverage the mind in scaling through or coming out of imposter syndrome? Because some people are actually struggling with imposter syndrome. So how do you think they can use the mind to come out of that?
Okay. A lot of successful people, you know, and not so successful people still struggle with imposter syndrome, and it still speaks to conditioning. It still speaks to conditioning. So how did you grow up? What did you experience? And what are you experiencing right now in your life? If you grew up and, you know, you had parents who only applauded you when you got something right, when you won a trophy, when you passed an exam, you would most likely attach significance to success, attach significance to any form of victory. If you grew up with parents who did not understand what I would like to call the growth mindset, and they only had what was called the fixed mindset, so they never applauded you for the process, they only applauded you for the product. So you come back from school, they are not asking you, what was your last semester's average, right? And what is your this semester's average? Did you move from an average of 75 to 85? If you did that, I applaud you. But instead, you have parents who say, get me, what's your position? And then you have fifth, you have fourth, and they're like, no, this is unacceptable. You already see the discouragement in the child's face. You also see the disappointment in the parent's face. So the child subconsciously begins to take in a thought pattern that says that if I don't win, I am not successful. If I don't win, I am not making progress. If I don't come out tops at class, then I am not growing or I'm not progressing. And that's such a faulty mindset. So you have children who have grown up to be adults, who are doing really great things, but somehow the bar keeps getting higher. So whenever they get success, they still second guess themselves that there is something more. So if they don't win something, they cast aside the process by which they went through just because they didn't get that thing. And that's also the problem with goal setting. Every time I sit in a goal setting class, I say the aim of goal setting is not necessarily the achievement of the goal. It's who you become while pursuing the goal. So if you become a person who is more disciplined, right? In her finances, who is more disciplined in the way she shows up, who is more disciplined in the way she talks. Though you may not have earned what you wanted or set as a goal for that year, but you grew, and that's success and that's progress. So when you're setting goals, or when you go back, just like we are just recently now, in about 3 months, we'll get to the end of the year, and then we'll start hearing self-appraisal. How did your year go? And you are praising, and you take your goal list, and you see that I made a financial goal, to make maybe $1 million this year, or 500,000 naira this year, and you just made only maybe 200. My question to you is, what did you make last year? If you made 100,000 last year, and this year you made 250, applaud yourself. Applaud yourself. And I feel like we are too hard on ourselves. We don't show ourselves compassion. And that is the crux of imposter syndrome. Every time you keep, shifting your hard work, keep looking down on your hard work, keep second guessing yourself, you are deliberately and intentionally and slowly incorporating the imposter syndrome. So one of the ways, to break out of that syndrome is to understand that your journey in life is not a destination, it's a journey. Like, it's a journey where you're headed to. There will never really be a time. And that's why even when I speak as a self-actualization coach, I say, you come to me because you want to be actualized in life. Can I tell you something before we go on this coaching journey? There will never really be a time where you say, I am self-actualized. Right now, I am completely self-actualized. You understand? There is nothing more to be done, because self-actualization in and of itself is not a destination, it's a journey. Because I keep saying this, that every person, regardless of where you're born, regardless of the circumstances surrounding your birth, regardless of the challenges or the pain you've been through, every person has in him or her a seed of greatness, right? And that seed of greatness, the way you manifest that seed of greatness, every time you manifest, and I keep saying, you unleash your greatness, different versions at a time. So when you unleash one version of greatness and you're like, I have arrived, I've actualized. And God is saying, there is more, sister. There's another level of greatness. So until you die, you will continue to be unleashing a greater dimension of yourself over and over again. So it will be foolhardy to weigh yourself by a yardstick that is stagnant, that is stagnant, right? That will be foolhardy. You need to measure yourself by growth. Am I growing? Yes. Was I the person I was last year? No. Then I'm doing fine. And then celebrate your wins. Some of us are too hard on ourselves. We are just too hard on ourselves. Before, you were not into personal development. You couldn't even sit down for 30 minutes on a coaching call. You couldn't even read, let's say, a chapter of a book without falling asleep. But now you can sit with a book and read 3 chapters. Can you celebrate yourself? That is growth. That is growth. That is prolific growth. Take yourself out and say, I want this. I am now a more disciplined person. If you told yourself you're going to, anchor a webinar, or you're going to call a webinar, if 2 people showed up, celebrate yourself and give it your best shot. Learn to show yourself some kindness and break out of imposter syndrome. And that is why I say everything lies and hinges on identity framing. The reason why a lot of people, feel like they are charlatans, they are selling a lie. You understand what I mean? It's because you don't have a strong identity. Your identity framing is weak. No matter what the world sees, no matter how successful you are, you still don't have a strong sense of identity. You have a broken sense of self, and you need to fix it. You need to fix it before it fixes you. I'm telling you, you need to fix it. So, go on that journey of identity framing. Know who you are. Be sure. You see, that's why that strength finder test is very important to me. When I do it, I look at my strength, I say, girl, you are disciplined. Girl, you are a creative. You write well. When you write, people read. Wow. And I celebrate myself for it. And another thing, I think a major problem also is that most of us are too focused on our weaknesses. Can you take a break from your weaknesses? It is easier to move forward by leveraging your strength rather than trying to bring your weaknesses to your strength. I will say that again. It is easier to leverage your strength rather than trying to work so hard to make your weakness a strength. Not saying that you should neglect your weakness, right? And say, oh, I am just weak there. No, I am saying what you have, give it your best shots while you're working on what you don't have. Do you get me? So some of us are too busy trying to turn our weaknesses into strength that we don't leverage our strengths. And that's another fuel for imposter syndrome. So stop forgetting about what you're not good at. Everybody is not good at everything. They're only good at some things and they amplify it. The reason why the people you see today making waves everywhere are people who have seen their strength, leveraged it, packaged it, branded the strength, and projected it to you, and have not shown you their weakness while they are dealing with their weakness. So anchor yourself on your strength and be proud about it. Put it on the face of people. Every time you show up with your strength and keep your weaknesses way below. Do you understand what I'm saying? Take, for example, I know that I speak well. I know that I write well, but there are some things I'm not very good at organization. But I can't come here and start telling you, I was really very disorganized before I came on this call. In fact, I tried to call myself. I won't do that. I am showing up here with my most powerful self, because every time you show up, you must show up with 3 P's. You must show up powerfully, you must show up present, and you must show up purposefully. Keep your weaknesses behind and leverage your strength. You are not an imposter. You are a deliberate, intentional version of your greatness. Show up as such.
Okay. Please, just go to the chat box and celebrate and get sticker. Like, hope you are feeling it the way I'm feeling it. Thank you so much, ma. If you have questions, I encourage you, drop your questions.
I saw something. Somebody is saying something. Maybe I should just respond to that.
Okay, ma'am.
Somebody said,
doctor question.
Okay, she said, as a doctor, I'm sure you do manage to depend on other senior doctors' strengths in the facility. It's good to depend on your strength, but I'm sure you need to allow other strengths outside yours to get something done at the time. Of course, I told you that I know what I'm good at. I'm good at motivating. When I talk to you, you get going. But you see the organizational part of it, what money came in, how did it go, how many patients did we see today? I take my mind, I know the doctors I hand that to. They are very good at it, so I leave it for them. I'm not trying to be the best thing since sliced bread. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. And I am so secure in myself that I allow others shine. Because as a true visionary, if you don't allow people to unleash their own greatness, they won't stay with you. Every time you help people grow and use their strengths, they stay with you because everybody is in this pursuit of self-actualization. So every time you bring somebody on board and you open their eyes to what they can be, what they can do, and what they can leverage, they're like, wow, so I'm this good, I'm this important, and they won't leave you. I have interns working with me, house jobs, house officers. So these ones are people like they just left school and they are very unsure. Let me tell you what I do to them. Sometimes it's in the consulting room. Because I need them to learn, but I don't want my patients to also look at them and say, oh, this is a student doctor or an extern. So I'll be like, after saying something, I'll just say, hello, ma'am. there's something I saw, I would like for my colleague to have a second opinion. Would you allow my learned colleague, look into this and give me a second opinion? So I'm presenting that doctor as, I have the first opinion. We are putting our minds together. So I don't, weigh down on their strength. That's such a shallow way to live. In fact, if you need to always tone down people's strength to allow your own strength shine, you have a mindset problem. You have a deep-seated problem. You have a self problem, a broken sense of self that you need to fix, basically.
Thank you so much, Ma. Please, if you have questions, just go to the chat box and drop your questions. So this is time for participants to engage with our guest speaker. Please, please, please drop your questions. So as we await your question, I will just ask this question. I think maybe this somebody is thinking about it. How will I transition from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset?
Okay, okay? Somebody else asked that question, or is it you asking me?
No, I'm asking. I said if we don't have a question yet in the chat box, please can you just do justice to that? How can I transition from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset?
Okay. How can you transition from a growth mindset to
from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset?
Okay, first of all, I'll just do a little, explanation on what a fixed and a growth mindset is. So a fixed mindset says that intelligence is static. Every human being was born with a type of intelligence. And all of us grew up with that. We're in classes that said, these are the mathematicians. These ones are the ones that are good in English. The science students are the ones that are good. In fact, we even created schools and we call them gifted children's schools, because some people are born with some kind of intelligence that another person doesn't have. But I beg to disagree. Science has proved today that the brain has the capacity to change. It's called the neuroplasticity of the brain, so that intelligence is progressive and not static. So the fixed mindset says that the way I was born, that's how I am. Right? I don't know maths and I can never know maths. Let me use maths, right? I'm just good at English and I cannot be good at any other thing. I cannot draw. Drawing is not in my lineage. So that's the fixed mindset. But a growth mindset is a growth mindset that says, I can learn what I need to learn if I choose to learn what I need to learn. So it says I can grow, I can do anything. I can actually alter my brain until it becomes a brain that becomes a mathematician. And the funny thing, our parents, they didn't know better, so we're not blaming them. Our teachers also at the time, they didn't know better, but we're not blaming them. So every time you tell a child, you're not good at this, you're just projecting on that child the fixed mindset. And it also boils down to what I said earlier. So I have a son who is a toddler. I don't applaud him when he gets something right. Like, oh, you got it. I clap for him, but I try to tell him, what did you do to get it this time? Oh, you did this, you did that. Wow, that means you grew. I applaud him for growing, not for getting something right. Because whenever you keep telling a child, and that is why, how many of you also noticed that most people who were super intelligent in secondary school, you meet them in university and for some of them, not all of them, are wondering, where did this intelligence go through? They are like, this person she used to come first in secondary school. What happened? I will tell you what happened. Fixed mindset. So that person was like, primary school, that's all I know. So I will crush it. I always crush it. When the person transitioned into secondary school, where you have different subjects, or into universities where you have different courses, the person is like, no, I'm not used to this. So somebody with a fixed mindset does not accept change, because they have a pattern by which they win. So when they are put in a different environment, they cannot accept that challenge. Do you see? So because they only tried with a win, when they just have that first fail, just that one fail, it will keep coming down. It's like an endless drop. They keep coming down. And why? Nobody told them that they could grow. Nobody told them that growth is possible. And that's the growth mindset. So somebody says, can you show up on this call and can you talk? You say, me? I've never spoken in my life. We don't even speak in my family. It's not in our gene. My grandfather never spoke. My grandmother did not speak. How then can I speak? I only write. My question to you is that who told you? Who told you? Everything is learnable. Every single thing is learnable. That's the growth mindset. Everything is, if I put my mind to it, I can learn it. Everything is learnable. So if there's something you need for your visionary journey, don't go about and, and throwing a pity party and say, I cannot talk like her. I cannot write like her. Take a creative writing course if you need be. Take a public speaking course if you need be. And keep showing up, right? And keep learning and keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. And one day you discover that, wow, I'm a master in this thing. So that's the growth mindset. So one of the ways to shift from the fixed mindset into the growth mindset is to adopt the belief that says that everything is learnable. Everything, every single thing is learnable. If all that it takes is time and motivation. Time and motivation. Time and motivation. Every single thing is learnable. Call it what you want. It's learnable. And then another thing that plagues visionaries is that they feel they are not so intelligent. My question to you is, who told you? Who told you? Grow your intelligence. IQ is not static. It has been proven scientifically. Before they say, what's the IQ of this person? It is like this, therefore it's like this. IQ is progressive. IQ is progressive. You can grow intelligence. It's progressive. And I hope you also know that there are different types of intelligence. They lie to us that if you don't know maths, you don't know anything. There's artistic intelligence. There's analytical intelligence. There's verbal intelligence. There's right. So I'm talking, and I know that some people here are already parents. Some people are going to be parents soon. Please, when you have your child, right? Know the intelligence that child is operating in per time and encourage that child. And then the ones that the child is not operating in, encourage the child that the child can grow in that intelligence. So there's not just one type of intelligence. That was a deviation. But what I was saying is that the first thing you would do for yourself is to imbibe the belief that every single thing is learnable. Everything. I believe it so strongly. Everything is learnable. I remember when I launched my first course. I have never launched a course in my life. I say, you see, I can do it. It's learnable. I will learn it and I will do it. And I did it. And the testimonies and the reviews that came, I'm like, wow, wow, wow. Why? Because I knew I could do it. It's in me. I just needed to believe it and believe that I could learn it. I could imbibe that skill of, creating frameworks and blueprints and all that. And as I keep doing it, I keep getting better. As I keep doing it, I keep getting better. Another thing also is communities. If you're always in a place where you're being judged by what you do and not by how you have grown, you need to remove yourself from such a community and find yourself in a community of people that encourage your growth, not your achievements necessarily. Because if you're growing, it's only a matter of time. The results will show. But it's possible to achieve once and never achieve again by mere luck. But anybody who is on the growth curve does not ever have only one achievement. You have achievements back to back because you are continually growing. Do you see where I'm coming from? But if you just say, I'm not growing, by luck, you just get an achievement, you will never get another one because there is no pathway to get another one. So you must commit yourself to the growth mindset. You must keep growing. Every time I face a challenge, I don't ask myself, this challenge is difficult. The question I ask myself is, how can this challenge grow me? That's what I ask myself. How can this challenge grow me? How can I grow by this challenge? If I'm given a responsibility and it's looking cumbersome, my question to myself is, isn't it, how can this responsibility, how can this assignment grow me? And when I see how it can grow me, I give myself to it. It's better I did something. Let me tell you something. The person who did something and failed, right, has a better chance of, let me rephrase. The person who did something and failed has life hacks for how to do it and not fail, and cannot in any way be compared to somebody who never did anything. And that is why you must break, and let me even break that thing. What is this thing even called fear? Perfection is overrated. Perfection is overrated. Perfection is overrated. Let me even tell you another thing. You must of needs have failure as part of your CV on the way to success. Anybody who does not have failure boldly stated in your CV, right? You don't have a right to sit on the table of success, because how then did you succeed? You must have failure. You must have things that you learned. And I don't want to call it failure. I'm saying it failure here for a purpose. Actually, you must have challenges that you surmounted. So I just hope, by the little things I've said, and you must grow, you must evolve, you must just be, every time ask yourself, have I grown? And then when you see that you have grown, reward yourself. Reward yourself.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mark. This is wow. Please, if you have a question, we still have like about 10 minutes to go. So if you have a question, I will encourage you to drop it, like just drop it on the chat box, or you could just indicate, and we can take your question. Like this is powerful. Anita, yes, you will get the recording. No, this is something that I will encourage everybody to go back and listen to it again. Yes, we do have a YouTube page, and it's uploaded on the YouTube page, Aditi Think Tank. Okay, Orogun, please go ahead with your question. You can unmute your mic and ask your question. Yeah, she's going to be sharing her social media handle at the end of the meeting. So she's going to share all the information you need to be able to connect with her. She'll be sharing it with us. Orogun, please, can you unmute your mic and ask your question? Or you can just drop it on the chat box. Please go ahead, just unmute and ask. We are waiting. Every minute is very important to us, please.
I don't have a question.
Okay, it was a mistake. Okay, thank you, no problem.
Yes, it was a mistake.
So to my final question, you mentioned it while you were speaking, and I just think you should just do a deep dive into it a little bit, just for better understanding. You were talking about identity framing. So can you talk more about what do you mean by identity framing?
Okay, what I mean, by identity framing is basically how to move, if you don't like the results you're seeing in your life, it's a programming. You would not manifest what you wish, what you desire, you will manifest who you are. And who you are is not necessarily what you say. Who you are is what you have believed that you are, because of the experiences that you've gone through in life. So there's in my course, there's a module we call mindset reengineering, because conditionings happen over time, especially during childhood. The most strongest of conditionings happen between the ages of 0 to 5 years old, and then you have the next level, 5 to 8 years old, and then you have the next level, I think 8 to 14. These things are so deep-seated that even when you don't realize it, they are creating realities for you in your life, whether you like it or not. They are creating realities for you in your life. So that's why some of us are saying, no, I will never do this again. But there is something stronger than what you're saying that is operating behind the scene, ensuring that without fail, you must continue manifesting those results in your life. And this is why whenever you notice a repeated pattern, whether it's a repeated pattern of, bad spending habits, terrible relationships, you can never keep a relationship, 5 months is broken, 4 months is broken. There is a software playing that is giving you those realities in life. And there's something we say, like I always say, you must journey inwards before you journey outwards. The issue is that a lot of us, this is the generation of, we are so in a hurry to show the world what we are doing, what we are, everybody just wants to put something out there on social media. So you start doing things outside without, first of all, traveling inwards. And how deep you go outward is dependent on how deep you travel inside. And this is why when some of us are speaking, we sound like we are fake. It almost looks like, are you fake? Are you not fake? Do you know why? You're speaking from a place of where you're not convinced. So that's why sometimes you must lead the drama, and that's all those social media things. Oh, you want to prove something. No, travel inwards. You must go back and know, why do I think this way? What is fueling this thought pattern? What is fueling these results in my life? Why am I never able to keep relationships? Was I abused as a child? What was I told when I was small? And I would like, every time I'm coaching or I'm teaching, I always like to use myself as an example. So I grew up in abundance, but at some point, things got bad and a whole lot of things happened. So while I was growing up, all I kept hearing was, oh, it's not enough. Oh, you're going back to school, huh? The money is not enough. You have to manage, I just kept hearing all those things. What that was doing to me was creating a scarcity mindset, a scarcity programming, so that I would not see abundance in anything. And then when I left school, I saw that in my life, I had a problem with money. I had a problem with finances. I never was able to, rise above a certain level in my finances until I sat down with God. I said, where is this thing coming from? And I traced it back to my childhood. I remember my mom would say, no, you have to share, but share everything. There's every time you're saying there's not enough. And I'm like, so this thing created this scarcity mindset. So I had to sit down, right, and do what I call mindset reengineering. For some of you, it's your relationships. You were told too often that you will not amount to anything. So in as much as you are trying to amount to something, there is something more powerful than your will. It is called the subconscious conditioning that will bring you back to default. It's like somebody trying to come out of something. You're really making that effort, but your mind says no, because the subconscious mind is so powerful. It's a willful servant. It doesn't know between reality and fake. It accepts what was sent into it as real. Do you understand? So if you say, or you keep hearing, there is not enough, the mind just says, oh, there is not enough. So even when you want to rise into there is now enough, the mind says, no, this is how I have been programmed. There is not, it will drag you back. So even when money comes into your hands, right, you will discover that before you know it goes, so that you will always remain in that level of not enough, because what is running that programming is deep-seated. So you must go back and attack it. You must go back and attack it. You must trace it back. My coach would tell me that some of us need to go on a date with our 5-year-old selves, our 10-year-old selves, our 15-year-old selves. Somebody told you your first relationship that you will never, maybe a guy, and told you that you're just good for nothing. I just used you. And then you collected it and brood, and especially for women, the more you brood, the more you solidify that pattern. So that's how patterns, so as you keep layering pattern, thoughts upon thoughts, the same thoughts, you keep brooding over it, the pattern is strengthening deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It is so profound. It is so profound. Everything you see in your life today, and I'm not sounding, permit me, I'm not sounding very high-minded. I'm just telling you the truth. Everything you're seeing in your life today is as a result of how you think, as a result of what you were told, as a result of patterns that you have accepted and is deep-seated. And this is why the first thing you must do is to travel inwards. Why do I think the way? When you find out why you think the way you think, you now do what we call mindset reengineering. Most patterns are created by what you hear or what you heard. Most patterns are created by what you heard, what you saw, or what you experienced. Most patterns are created by what you heard, most often than not what you heard, what you saw, or what you experienced. So you will now still use words to re-engineer your mind. So what you're doing when you are making positive confessions is not just a spiritual ritual. No, it's even psychologists have found it to be true. Once you create for yourself positive confessions that are anti the results you are seeing in your life today. And then you deliberately, intentionally start making those confessions. Do you know what you're doing? Like I told you, the subconscious mind is a willful servant. It cannot differentiate what is true and what is right. So if I say I am wealthy, or I am rich, or I sit on A-list boards, and I say it over and over again, the subconscious mind just collects it and say, this person is a rich and wealthy person. Do you see? And start re-engineering your character to become a person that can be wealthy. I hope I'm making sense this evening, because I don't want to speak over anybody's head. So it does that for you. So when you keep confessing, and the problem why we do is that it took you, some of you, 25 years to get you to here where you are right now. For some of you, 15 years. For some of you, 30 years, 35 years. Why do you think it will take you one day to re-engineer your mind? So some people just confess when they say, it's not working. Something that took like 30 years to solidify. Do you understand? Give it time. Create pictures for yourself. Enter into meditation and see yourself opposite of what you are, the realities you are seeing in your life today. And then keep confessing it. Do you know, I have a book filled with confessions because recently the Spirit of the Lord has been, pointing me on the direction of I need to deal with my own mindset. And let me tell you something. I told them today, I said, you see the devil, you don't need all night to handle the devil. You just need a word and his demons. That stronghold called devil and demons, you just need one night. But you see stronghold that has to do with mind. You don't even need all nights. What you need is a whole lifetime. At every point in your life, you are in a battle here. Because every time you want to elevate into the next level, you must elevate your paradigm into a paradigm that matches that next level. I don't know if I'm speaking to somebody here. So that is why you must be on that constant. We never outgrow mental programming. We never outgrow mindset reengineering. That's what I'm saying. We are all doing it in different levels. For somebody, the engineering she's doing is, let me have new relationships. To come up from that mindset that says, I am not good enough. To another person, the mindset reengineering is that I can take on nations. I don't know if you see, all of them are mindset reengineering, but in different levels. But you must make it part and parcel of your visionary journey. You must always pay attention to the mind. If there is something God has told you, like I told you that greatness is released in versions. After releasing the first version of your greatness, I put it to you that the person that released that first version of your greatness cannot be the person that will release the next. You must become the person capable of releasing the next level of your greatness. Between the first release of your greatness and the next release of your greatness, there's a transitioning of who the person was that released that first greatness to another person. And that transitioning happens in the mind. It happens here. It happens here. You must take charge of your mind. After this meeting, sit down, ask yourself, date yourself, be sincere with yourself, tell yourself the brutal truth. What are the results in my life I don't like? What is a reoccurring pattern? Is my bank account, is my account balance always, having this a lead over it at a particular level? You write it down. Am I always spending like somebody that does not have control? You write it down. Am I always attracting the wrong boyfriends and girlfriends? You write it down. Am I always, never able to complete a task? You write it down. All the things that you don't understand in your life, write it down. Find out if there are patterns. Then create confessions that are anti, because there's always the positive part of a negative pattern. I don't know if you get what I mean. So if you're somebody who is always attracting the wrong relationship, your positive confession should look like this: I am good enough. I am enough. I am complete. I am whole. I am beautiful. I attract the right kind of people. I value myself. I am a treasure. You put in those things and keep repeating them to yourself over and over and over again. Before you know, you will become that person. It's only a matter of time, but give it time. But give it time. But like what I did with money, I started telling myself, I have a good relationship with money. I say money loves me. The Bible says that the love of money, not that I will not love money, but money can love me. I don't know if you see what I'm saying. The Bible did not say money should not love me. So I would say money loves me, right? I don't love you, but you love me. I like money. I don't love you, but you love me, right? And I'll be like, I live in a place of abundance, right? I have a good relationship with money. I release money freely and it comes back to me with abundance. I am a steward of financial realities. I keep saying this over and over and over. Am I there? Am I where I want to be? No. Am I where I used to be? Absolutely not. So it's a journey. So engage in mindset reengineering. Deliberately reprogram yourself and then also remove yourself from the context of that pattern. Because you cannot create a pattern and still be in the context where somebody is still reinforcing that pattern. And sometimes you may need to be hard on your significant others, whether it be a parent or a sister. If every time they talk to you, they're trying to, expound your weaknesses, tell you how small you are. In fact, if there's anybody you talk to and after talking to that person, you feel small, I beg of you. You may not cut off the relationship, because if it's for some of us, sometimes it's our parents, actually, sadly so. You finish speaking with them and you feel small. You can't cut them off, but you can create boundaries. And that's what we should learn as visionaries. Not everything must come into your space. I don't care the relationship they have with you. If you're not moving me forward, if I don't speak to you and I feel energetic, then I don't want to speak to you, or I don't want to speak to you as often as I should. Do you get what I mean? So I just cut off, I don't cut you off completely, but I reduce what I call exposure, because every pattern is created by exposure. So I reduce it. If it's possible, if you're not a parent, a sister, you know what I mean? We don't have blood ties. I just remove you completely from my destiny. I'm telling you, I am telling you. So this is what you should do for yourself. You owe 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 yourself. And the thing about, I'll end with this. Though you can't see your subconscious mind, what you engage, as you're listening to me now, you're engaging your conscious mind, right? You're engaging your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is just there at the background. When you go back and listen to this recording again, you're telling your subconscious mind, collect something. When you listen to it again, you're telling it, collect something. When you're listening to it again, you're telling it, collect something. The more, I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it will just pick it and be holding it inside, right? So it's so powerful. So whether you like it or not, whether you can see it or not, there is something working automatically by auto at the background of your life. It is called the subconscious mind. So you must deliberately take care of what your subconscious mind assets. Subconscious mind is where relationship patterns, addictions, habits, emotions are formed. I am telling you, this is where all those things, we're talking about pornography, all those addictions, subconscious mind, everything is there. Everything is there so you can deal with it. Any knowledge that is going to change your life, I'll say it again, let me just end with this. Any knowledge that is going to change your life must move from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Do you see? So that's why you're not experiencing the results you're experiencing in life. The knowledge you have about being wealthy is in the conscious mind. It has not yet entered the subconscious mind. Do you understand? So if knowledge will change your life, including what I'm teaching here right now, and that's why they keep telling you, go back to webinars, go back to messages, because if it is in the subconscious mind, it just makes you feel good. What will do the work is when it moves from the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, then you begin to see results in your life. I hope I've not spoken over your head this evening, and I hope I did justice to that answer.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Ezine. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know. Let me just confirm if Desmond actually does have a question. Desmond, you indicated, I don't know whether that was a mistake or you actually do have a question. Please, if you do have a question, please feel free to ask. We are short. We can still give you a few minutes. I know this is supposed to be 1 hour, but Ma, thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much. This is mind shifting. This is a mind opener. Thank you very much, Ma. So please, you say a lot of appreciation is going on the comment section already. I don't need to tell them. Please just go tell her. Just drop some of your take home, like some of the things you're going to be running with. She has shared a lot of life nuggets just within this 1 hour. For me, I've learned a lot. Mind engineering is something that we have to continue to do, and greatness is in levels. Thank you, Ma, for sharing with us this evening. So please, let's just use this opportunity to just attend to Anita's question. Somebody wants to take your course. How can they get access to your course? They want your social media, and how can they connect with you beyond now?
Let me my social media, let me just put it out there.
Okay, thank you.
You can also send me a DM. I've been off social media for about I think 2 or 3 weeks, just to to go back. When you're out, you come back.
Yes.
So, but I will soon be back. So, but you can send me a DM and I will respond. Okay, my IG handle is let me put it out there. Dr. Ezine Okule here. That's IG. That's it.
Okay. Okay, please. Okay, that's the IG handle.
Okay, Anita Patrick is saying, from your teaching, I saw that I have a fee. I need to start working. I need to start the work right away. I see that it's from my upbringing. Yeah, wow. Just have to start working with it. A lot of us had, and we don't blame your parents. You know, they didn't really know better. They really know better. In fact, it has been proven. Science, there's a research going on now, and it stated that this generation will be the generation, that has the greatest level of, success in parenting because of what we now know. Because of what we now know.
Thank you. So, there's a question for you about how to take your course. Do you have a website where they can access your course, or how can they, or just through your IG?
My website, okay, here's my website, but you can also send me a DM. We just finished, we have just done one, what they call that thing, a cohort, so that you just keep your ears open for the next cohort, So let me send you, my website is still this, let me put it here.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So you can just prepare and just be on the lookout.
So you just keep your ears. Very soon we'll announce for the next cohort. And then
I think for this one, just connect with her on IG. Just send her a DM and then you can start the conversation.
Yeah, send me a DM on IG.
Yeah. So I think that will solve the problem. Thank you so much, Ma. Desmond, so I guess you don't have a question. So this is where we say thank you very, very, very much, Ma. So I think you're based in Port Harcourt.
Yes, please. Do we have any particular person here?
Yes, Anita is in Port Harcourt. That's why I needed to mention that. Anita, she's in your city. She's in Port Harcourt. So Anita, please take advantage of this relationship. Connect with her. Anita, connect with her. She's in your city. And for any other person that is actually in Port Harcourt, please leverage on this relationship and see how. Imagine if this is virtual, imagine a live meeting, how it will be. This is just virtual experience. Just imagine how live meetings will be. Thank you so much, Ma. We are super grateful. Thank you for moving us from A to Z. And again, I also want to encourage everyone. This is something you need to listen to again and again and again. She mentioned about when you listen to it, then you're telling your subconscious mind to take it. So it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So as long as you're on this call, you're going to get, we are going to send you a link where you could just download and listen. It is very, very important. And please follow on IG. Go to our IG, go to Instagram, just click on, follow on IG, check out our website. I'm so sure she's very resourceful. She has a lot of resourceful that will be a great blessing to you. I am blessed. Like right now, you don't understand. I will start talking now.
If you also look on my, like if you go on my IG and then you click on the link on my bio, you will see my books, my website. They're all on my link on my bio. So you can just click and then just go.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
I think the most important information you really need is just the IG. When you get the IG,
yes, the click on the bio. Just send me a message. Just tell me you're from what's this tribe? Think Tank.
DT Think Tank.
Yes, please. So please just send me. Just tell me from. I will give you priority. Once I just see Think Tank, I will go open it. Let me see. Though I'm not on IG yet, but I will read your message. Thank you. Thank you,
Ma. Please let's celebrate our speaker once again.
Thank you, Mr.
Bello. Thank you. Your mic and
thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It was very insightful.
Thank you.
Wow. Glory to
God. Thank you so very much, man. God bless you.
Bless you too, sir. Thank you, ma.
Thank you. So the youth series webinar continues next month, and guess what? Next month Barra Day is going to be coming. You don't want to miss it. She's the boundary coach. Okay, Dr. Ezine is there. If you can leave us. Thank you so much. Bye. We'll connect with you on IG. So next month we are going to be having Barra Day. She's a boundary coach, and we're also going to be having Chibuzo in the house. So next month is going to be a very, very big conference for us at DT Think Tank, because we are going to be launching our products also and our services, and we are super excited, and we look forward to November. November is going to be big. So please, if you're not following us on any of our social media platforms, I would love to encourage you, and this is me inviting you to do so. Follow us on IG at DT Think Tank. Follow us on YouTube at DT Think Tank. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get notification anytime we upload a new video. This is going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel, so you can always go back and rewatch. Like I say, you cannot just say you listen to it and that is all. No, we need to listen to it again and again and again. Today is powerful. I told you from the beginning that there is a twist to the webinar. Usually our speakers come and they just do like a teaching or presentation, but today we took it a different route. We engaged, we made it very, very personal. I hope I'm super blessed, and I hope this has been a blessing to you too.